Welcome to a high-stakes showdown under the lights at the dungeon of Dracarys Coliseum, where the undefeated DC Dragons look to extend their scorching start to 3-0. Standing in their way, the Washington Trident, sitting at 1-1 and hungry to make a statement on enemy turf. It's power versus precision, fire versus steel, and it all goes down tonight. And keep your eyes on the backfield. It's a marquee matchup between two of the league's top running backs, DC's Kevin Say and Washington's Dwayne Salmons. Buckle up. This one is going to be a battle. Welcome everyone to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., as we have the Dragons and the Trident here in live action. Phil Koss and Jacob Clear on statistics, and of course Cameron Irvine in the producer booth. It is Brett Solberg along with you and Rochelle Colston right by my side. Rochelle, this is going to be a high-impact game.
Sure is. Even watching week 1 and week 2, DC does have 2 wins, but they barely beat Carolina in week 1 and Chicago in week 2. Washington beat Houston in week 1 and then fell to Albuquerque in week 2. This should be a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a balanced game for both these sides offensively. They love to use both sides of the run and pass, and defensively, there is a lot to like between these two squads defensively. But DC is going to start off with the ball. Home team going to get some home love, and here we go at the nation's capital. Kickoff deep inside the end zone, and the return is going to decide to just keep that baby inside. Sam Harrison with the touchback, and in comes Shabazz Synergy, the 12-season veteran, 10 seasons with the Dragons. It'll be interesting how they start things off. Week 1, it was a start off, play 1, pass. This week 2, it was a run. They're going to start off with a 3-by-1 bunch formation on the left side. They will stretch things off, and it will be a handoff to Sam Harrison to start things off, Rochelle. And right now, DC's going to look to get that 9th-ranked run game started.
I was surprised it was Sam Harrison out there instead of Kevin Say, their workhorse.
Yeah, and Say has been with the Dragons his entire career, all 10 seasons with the squad. He's in the backfield for this bunch formation again here on 2nd and 7. They're going to hand it off to Say, but it's quickly shut down by the defense. Great tackle by TJ Harper. Let's quickly go through this DC Dragons offense here, Rochelle. We talked about Shabazz Synergy, Kevin Say, and Sam Harrison. Their fullback, Chuck Stellar. Wide receiver trio is Ronnie Shanahan, Mason Kirby, and Connor Weston. Tight end trio of Jay Hayden, Lauren Percoco, and James Walters. And their offensive line led by Keeney Cook, Al Friedman, and Michael Percoco. Shotgun on 3rd down. Shabazz looking to pass, gets a completion down the middle of the field. It's a great completion to Mason Kirby, the 6'5 product in his 3rd season with DC. First down for the Dragons.
Look, that was a ball. It was actually tipped at the line, but still a decent throw and a great catch.
Yeah, and you got to be dangerous as a quarterback. It's kind of dangerous as a quarterback trying to zip things through on a short pass, because like you said, they can be deflected on the line. They're going to flip the formation, go bunch on the right side, and they're going to move one of the guys over to the left side. Will be a handoff to Harrison. Sheds off one tackler, but can't get past Nicholas Warner. So the linebackers are starting to get some early tackles in on the running backs here. A loss of 1.
And Warner came in here with 27 tackles, 1 sack, 4 TFLs, and 1 interception. So he's going to be a presence on that field all afternoon.
Yeah, you're looking at guys like Nathaniel Diggs and TJ Harper on the outside as well. You got to be careful. Percoco is going to shift over to the left side, maybe add some further protection on that front. There will be a draw play over to Chuck Stellar, who surprisingly enough, Rochelle, is leading the team coming into this game in rushing yards, but only gets 1.
Now this DC team, I mean, to the roster, they're really built to run. They have 3 tight ends and they have a fullback. They should be able to, do nicely block for a running back on the line of scrimmage. But so far, not much going.
We're going to go straight open here on 3rd and 10. Shabazz has plenty of time to throw. Throws down the middle again, looking for Percoco off the right-hand side, but gets tackled. Looks to be Al Begin with that tackle, and now DC is going to force to punt the ball.
Yeah, Albert again is one of those, outstanding defensive players on the team. So, great play. It was 1 for 1 with Percoco.
And right now, I think Washington's goal would be to shut down Percoco, as she has been, the lead boss in terms of receiving for the last couple seasons. Punt is returned to the 25 and will go up to the 30-yard line. Phil Koss, the tight end himself, with the return. And now we're going to see Tommy Utah and company head out to the field on their first offensive drive. Utah, a 9-season vet in the league, his second season with Washington. And it will be basically a mirror match. Right side bunch here on 1st and 10. It'll be a rollout for Utah. Throws down the middle, caught. Good catch from Johan Sutherland, and Washington striking early with the pass.
Yeah, if you're on defense, you can't leave the middle of the field that wide open. I mean, great route by number 13, Sutherland there. And like I said, he was wide open in between the linebackers and the secondary.
And you got to be careful with zone here on 1st down if you're DC, because Washington has the ability to get those connections down the middle, and they're going to go bunch one more time, flipping the field, bunch on the left this time. It will be Shane Kaufman, the wide receiver, shifting over to balance out the field now, 2 by 2. It'll be a handoff. It'll be just a minimal gain for Dwayne Salmons, who's now the new bell cow for this Washington Trident lineup. And let's talk about that Washington offense real quick. Quarterback Tommy Utah, running backs of Dwayne Salmons, Christopher Dean, and Julian Gusters. Wide receivers, there's 5 of them: King Alexander, Johan Sutherland, Terrell Cooper, Shane Kaufman, and Phil Koss. Tight end is Ami Mahada, as that run from Christopher Dean is going to be a decent one. Gets a 3rd and 2 coming up. Finished off with the linemen, Dakota Butts, Scott Pancake, the McMillans, Bill and Phil, and center Charles Michael. 3rd and 2 coming up.
Yeah, 3rd and 2, very manageable here. You have 2 really good backs, and you also have a fullback back there.
And the I Pro here on 3rd and 2, wide receiver out to the left side. It'll be a design stretch run, but it looks like Salmons got stuffed by his own offensive lineman, and Billy Beers comes in to get the tackle, and Washington is forced on a 3 and out.
Yeah, I mean, got stuck behind number 75. There was no place to go, and the defense just won.
Early on, these 2 defenses staying stout. We're talking about 2 teams that are in the top 10 through the first couple games in total yards allowed per game. DC first and Washington at 6. A decent return will net the Dragons to start off close to the touchback line at the 19-yard line, and now DC's offense is going to be back out on the field.
We actually have a halfback returning the ball. That's interesting.
And they've got the capability of doing it. Sam Harrison, former wide receiver as well, turning into a halfback if I'm not mistaken. And he's been a decent second option for this DC squad for the first couple stanzas of DC season. Once again, this bunt formation on 1st down. It's going to be a straight handoff to Kevin Say, who will get a decent chunk of yardage, 5 yards up the middle, sets up a 2nd and medium.
And that time, Kevin Say just kept his legs moving forward, just kept pushing, and managed to get 5 yards out of that.
And like I said earlier, it's going to be the battle between the 2 running backs, Dwayne Salmons and Kevin Say, both the high-profile halfbacks on their respective teams. It'll be empty open on 2nd down. Shabazz back to throw, finds his target down the middle, and that's going to be Mason Kirby once again, 2nd reception of this 1st quarter.
Beautiful play by DC. I mean, he was running the perfect route. Shabazz stayed in the pocket. Wide open again. 2 receivers were in the area also.
Mason Kirby already doubling his reception count for the season, only coming in with 2 in this game, and now has 2 for the season, 2 for the game, excuse me. Back to bunch formation on 1st and 10. It'll be a stretch handoff to Harrison, but the defensive line shifted over just right, and it'll be Nicholas Warner who will get him right to the line of scrimmage.
Great play by Washington's defense there. They were ready for that one. I was thinking pass all the way.
And they'll stick with the bunch on 2nd and 10. Still got the three receivers tight. It'll be another handoff again to Harrison, who will get a good chunk of yardage, a little bit more favorable this time. Maybe the gut run instead of the stretch is going to work for DC. 3rd and 5.
I think at 3rd and 5, your playbook's pretty much open. You can run here. You can also pass. I'd be looking for Warren Percoco out there somewhere.
It looks to me that Percoco isn't on the field as a slot receiver. Shotgun will force Shabazz to try to move around, but can't do it. Great work from Doug Howard. His 2nd sack of the season will force DC on a 4th down.
Now, these defenses have really come to play today, Brett. I mean, they're not allowing very, very much at all.
Yeah, these are 2 well-respected defenses in this league. You still have to remember that vaunted Washington defense last season only allowed 78 yards of rushing per game and was the 14th best defense in terms of yardage allowed. So DC is going to have a handful with that Washington defense. Punt is up and away, and it will be returned by Cost. So we'll shed a couple tackles to get to the 23-yard line, and we are back on Washington's side of the field. Will Tommy Utah, Dwayne Samuels and company do anything different on this second drive?
I mean, they're still testing everything out. I mean, they want to use their run game. They more favor the pass over the run, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, so far coming into this game, 60 pass attempts for Utah compared to 34 run attempts for the running back core, and they're going to go with an empty backfield on 1st and 10. 5 receivers out, and this is a great way to get all 5 receivers involved. Utah, 3-step drop, will try to find Sutherland, but can't get his mitts on the football. It's good work from Peanut Say to draw the ball loose.
That was a ball thrown into heavy, heavy traffic. Lucky that wasn't an interception going the other way.
And that's the issue with 5 receivers, because if you're going to have them all go deep down the field, there's going to be a lot of traffic either way on those empty formations. Again, they're going to go 4 receivers this time with a tight end on the left. That's Jay Hayden. Utah, not enough time to find his guys. The combination of Seth Harrison and John Gary get to him for the sack.
I think they came in there basically untouched. It was like, wow, they were just there. Watch this again.
Yeah, you might be right on this replay. Yeah, not even touched by the lineman, and they look to be Kano Fortson, not John Gary. I'll check that. And now forcing Washington into a must-pass situation on 3rd and 16. And there will be, again, 4 receivers this time, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Utah, 3-step drop, looking short and almost intercepted. That was a lucky bounce. Rodney Panat, sorry, excuse me, that's Nick Fargo with the almost pick, let's call it.
Yeah, Nick Fargo came in here with 16 tackles, 6 TFLs, and now he's got past the flush with the boot.
And Fargo, definitely one of those guys to be weary of. 11 interceptions in his career. It's actually not returned one for a touchdown, but that's, being that close to the field, you got to be dangerous if anybody getting an interception. Harrison will get the return up to the 41, and that might be the best field position at any point of this first quarter for either team so far.
That's very true. Great starting field position. Only get to get about 30 yards to get into field goal range here.
Yeah, just a couple first downs, and then you're in Ron Van Cleef territory, so you got to be careful if you're the Washington defense. But so far through the first 2 defensive drives for Washington, they've done pretty well. And DC going back to the bunch formation on 1st and 10. There will be a run up the gut for Kevin Say, who does shed off 1 tackler, but once again, it's going to be Nicholas Warner with the tackle, but not before a 5-yard run.
I don't know about you, but I'm loving these DC uniforms.
Yeah, honestly, you can't go wrong with, a mostly black uniform, and then with the gradient coloring numbers. It's pretty good in my books. It will be a stretch run to Harrison on 2nd down. We'll shed a tackle and break open some room, and gets past the 35 all the way to around the 32-yard line. First big play of the game is to Sam Harrison.
Wow, what an impressive run. And if you were DC, you're loving it. You want to establish this run game. You have 2 very good backs. He just broke away that run.
Just 9 carries through the first 2 games for Sam Harrison. Early on, 5 carries for 29 yards. A good first quarter from the second running back in this duo. Maybe another bunch formation, but they're going to move Hayden off the bunch, and again, make this more so a 2-by-2 on 1st and 10. Maybe a run up the gut for Kevin Say, who has open room. Great work from the offensive line to break through that first level of contact and give Say 5 yards.
Yeah, if I was Washington, I'd keep doing this all day long until they can stop it.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Keep running that football. They're going to go shotgun bunch on 2nd and 5. It will be a delayed handoff to Chuck Steller, who's going to get himself a couple yards and make it 3rd and 2.
You're 3rd and 2, and you be very careful here. You're in field goal range. You don't want to, give up the points. So I think I'd run the ball here again.
Exactly. If they can't beat you past 2 yards, then you just keep going on this drive. It's going to be Harrison in the backfield here again on this bunch formation, bunch tight end. And it will be a handoff to Harrison, who gets stuffed, but they are going to mark him just enough for the first down. If I'm Washington, I might be thinking about throwing that red flag.
Me too. That was very close. Yep, there we go.
And indeed we will. So we're going to take a look at the replay. Good work from head coach Robert Thump to notice that right away. Maybe had commentary in his headset there. But we're going to take an extra look at this, Rochelle. Talk to me through it.
Let's see what angle we get here, Brett. I think he got it from that angle, and
he jumped over the first defender, and then the second defender.
I think the ball may have like an inch over that low line, but the line is imaginary still. Oh, it's overturned.
And it will be overturned, so they're going to force DC into a 4th and inches. And is this enough room for Ron Van Cleef territory is the big question, and it looks like it will.
Yeah, I mean, that was very, very close. We're talking inches there.
Yeah, 40-yard field goal attempt coming up for Ron Van Cleef, who is already 6 for 6 this season. Has hit one from 46 already. Kick is up, and it'll go right down Main Street. That'll be your first point of the contest, ladies and gentlemen. 3-0 is going to be your score late in the first quarter.
Yeah, but very nice drive by DC. Striking first. Inches short of that first down, just inches.
Very, very close too. And that could have gone either way, and they saw enough considerable doubt to make that decision to overturn it. And now DC only has 3 to show for it. Return. Got a nice, decent spin move who will set Washington up in good field territory. Shane Kaufman at the 30-yard line. And if I'm Washington, I'm thinking to myself, we need to find something in our offensive playbook that's just going to break things open. Only 17 yards to the first 2 drives.
Empty set once again.
5 receivers out. It's going to be a 2-by-3. Utah with a 3-step drop. Looking deep. Overthrows his target. And that's a decent start if you're looking to switch things up right away. King Alexander the target.
That ball was just way too much muscle behind that throw.
Maybe expecting Alexander to be about 5 yards further down the field. There will be an offset running back, I should say, over on Utah's right side. We're going to shift Kaufman over to the left slot. And there will be a draw play for Salmons, who doesn't get much. Nick Fargo with the tackle, and they're going to say maybe a yard, and it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
Yeah, that play looked awkward from the get-go.
You always got to be careful, with that offset running back. Going with a draw play, sometimes that doesn't work. And that's going to be 1 quarter in the books here at our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. The hometown Dragons with an early 3-0 lead. This is the SFL's 25th season on VFN. Start of second quarter action will be 3rd and 9 for Washington coming up here. Brett Solberg along with Rochelle Colston on your broadcast booth today. 3rd and 9 on a 3-by-1 for Washington coming up. Utah back to throw, pump fakes, doesn't find anyone and will run for it, but can't get to the first down marker. Linebackers stayed tight and stayed in the vision of Utah, and it'll be 4th down once again.
Yep, and free safety Billy Beers came in and cleaned that up right away.
Everyone's starting to get involved in that DC defense. Specifically, Billy Beers already with 3 tackles, has half a sack and a TFL to his name. And the punt will be returned for a couple yards by Sam Harrison. And DC will start their drive at the 29-yard line. And Rochelle, this is starting to feel like a defensive struggle between these 2 teams. Both these defenses have done really well in this first quarter. Can they replicate it in the second quarter?
If so, this is going to be a very long non-scoring game.
And it might be not something I like, but it'll definitely, get Eddie Gage and company to like it. Handoff, stretch run for Kevin Say. Tries to spin around one defender, can't get to it, but still gets 4 yards out of it.
Yeah, but I mean, Washington here, their running game is looking really well. I mean, you get 4 yards on first down. I'd stick to this run game.
51 first quarter yards for DC. I'd expect that to continue. They're going to hand it off again to Harrison, who has been a menace to the Washington defense. Will get a first down and then some. Mark it for about 9 or 10 on that run.
Harrison looks like a man on a mission out there, and once he gets going forward, he's very hard to bring down, too.
Definitely looked like the better back out there, but hey, it's not saying that Say's done a bad job tonight. He's got himself 5 carries for 21 yards at 4.2 yards per carry. He's looking pretty good. And again, bouncing out this field, they're going to move one receiver over to the left side. And again, it's going to be a handoff this time to Say, who sheds off one tackler and will get 3 yards after getting gang tackled at the end of the play.
I'd like to see Say go to the outside more. Dwayne Simmons looks better going to the middle.
Yeah, it might be one of those things where you might have to be predictable. Have one guy do one thing, have one guy do the other thing. It's going to be a stretch run for Harrison, gets stuck by his offensive lineman and gets nowhere with it. Good work from the defense. Tina McGinn with that, let's just call it a neutral gain on that play.
Yeah, they come in the defensive line, get the push in the offensive line, and get stuck back there in the backfield.
Both teams are combined 1 for 8 in third downs to start off. DC has the 1 third down conversion. Can they make it a second on 3rd and 7 as they motion another receiver to the left side? It's now a 4-by-1
wow.
In an empty formation. Synergy down to throw, finds his receiver and will get the first down. Jay Hayden, he was the guy in motion who got the catch.
And Jay Hayden ran a route. There was a defender in the area. Great job. Great pass by Synergy.
And
only his receiver could catch it.
That's one of those overload plays that works to the benefit because you've got a big, strong tight end in Jay Hayden, who is a former fullback, who can have the strength against these linebackers to secure a catch and get the first down if needed. Delayed handoff to Kevin Say will net a couple yards. And like you said, Rochelle, it might be, Kevin Say's time to stretch it out instead of going in the inside.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, this run game is really working for them.
And 68 yards between all 3 running backs so far in this first quarter and a half. Shabazz will go back to throw. Will go deep, finding an open target. The doctor is in. DC gets 6 on the board.
Oh my goodness, you can credit the O-line there because Synergy could have taken a nap back there. He had all day to throw. Lauren Percoco just does Lauren Percoco things in the end zone. Yeah. All by herself.
Yeah, the pass protection was second to none on that play. And let's give credit where credit's due. Lauren Percoco was more wide open than anything that I've seen through the first 4 weeks of this SFL season. Just a beautiful connection between those two. And we've seen this, it feels like ad nauseum with DC this season. Extra point up and through. Early 10-0 advantage for the home team Dragons. And the Dungeon of Drakkar Stadium is loud and raucous right now.
If you're watching, you have to know where Lauren Percoco is on the field at all times.
Yeah, agreed. This is a receiver that has multiple 1,000-yard campaigns to her name, and probably has had many more considerations than just the one that she had of being offensive player of the season. She hasn't gotten any accolades yet, which is surprising. Return up to the 24-yard line, and now it's Washington's time to respond.
And you definitely got to respond here. You're finding yourself 2 scores down, and there's still plenty of game left. But you want to go to halftime with some points.
Yeah, you need to get some points on the board, and I think this is the drive that you've got to do it. So Tommy Utah, it's going to be a strong I formation to start off. First time we've seen that in the game for Washington. There will be a pass play. Utah down the middle will find Kaufman. And it almost looked like he was going to fall incomplete, but he outstretched his hands to get 7 yards.
And then he paid for it with the hit at the end. Oof.
Yeah, mid-air too. That's gonna hurt even more. If I'm Shane Kaufman, I'm saying, can I get a rest, please? After that, and it's gonna be now 2nd and 3. It's gonna be an I-pro formation. And he will hand it off to Salmons, who's got the space and the blocking to get the first down, a decent 5 yards from Dwayne Salmons.
Was that Washington's first down of the game?
I think it's their second. Now it's that offset running back formation again here on 1st down. It will be a handoff. It's going to go to Christopher Dean, the big bully, who will only get 2 yards, make it a 2nd and 8.
That play's just not working very well.
And again, I said this before, I think the issue with the offset running back is that you have to make sure you hand that off as quickly as you can, because the line is only going to open up that gap for so long. Twins here on 2nd and 8. And it will be a handoff to Salmons, who will stretch it out.
Ooh.
Bruises through a tackler and gets past the 50, past the 40, to the 38-yard line. And that is how you wake up an offense. Just get the bruising Dwayne Salmons to run down the field.
Beautiful run, great blocking, and just bulldozing his way past defenders. Wow, look at that stiff arm.
Billy Beers has had a good half, but that's going to be part of his lowlights in this game for sure. As one of our colleagues would like to say, Billy Beers, welcome to the Shadow Realm. 4 receivers out, 1 tight end on 1st and 10. They're going to shift Koss over to the left side. Look at a tight triple formation. Utah back to throw, goes through his progressions, finds his receiver, but unfortunately Terrell Cooper can't get his hands fully secured on that ball. It's going to fall incomplete.
Great job by number 28, cornerback Darrell Bullock, making a huge hit, knocking that ball loose.
And this is what these corners from DC love to do. They like to have that facade that receivers are going to secure that ball and then jar that ball loose with those hits. They've got some real hit power in those corners. It's going to be a rollout on 2nd down for Utah. Finds Koss on the sidelines. That is a picture-perfect throw from Utah, and that is a 1st down for the Trident.
Yeah, Koss knew his route and ran right to the, right by the out-of-bounds marker and just stood there. And great job by Utah finding him.
And you had 3 receivers in that area as well, so it was DC's decision of which one to cover. One of them was going to be left open, and that man just happened to be Phil Koss. And now Washington, first time in this game in the red zone, they're going to look to capitalize. They're going to shift their tight end, Azana Mahata, over the left side.
He's been quiet today.
Very quiet, no targets yet from him. Again, it's going to be that handoff, this time to Christopher Dean, who will net positive yardage, but just a yard. Peanut say with the tackle.
They decided to run to the weak side, which I'm not sure why when you brought the extra help over to the other side.
Thinking maybe a misdirection with that shift of tight end as well. Maybe Mahata will open up that field, but it didn't quite work. Utah looking to sling it. And will be fallen incomplete. And again, Cooper had his hands on it. And again, the DC secondary jars that ball loose.
Yeah, great job by number 26 cornerback Jadoobie Doo. Another big hit. All right. I know. Every time I say that name, I'm going to sing the song in my head.
Yeah, everybody will be singing that if he gets a highlight in this game. They're going to shift over Johan Sutherland over the right side. 3rd and 9. Looks to be like a wide doubles formation almost. Utah down to throw the middle, finds Cooper, but it's going to be short of the 1st down marker. 4th and 3 coming up for Washington.
52, inside linebacker Nick Fargo was there once again, and if you're Washington, this is a win for you. Bend don't break defense, like make him settle for a field goal here.
James Troll gets the kick up and good, and will get Washington on the board. And it's not 6, but they'll gladly take the points. Now it's back to a 7-point deficit. 10-3 is your score midway through the 2nd quarter. Rochelle, it has been a minute, and we hope you haven't forgotten. It is super simple to smash that like button and help the channel out. We just crossed the 8,500 subscriber mark, so subscribe if you already have not, so you'll never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. Thanks for your support of the Virtual Football Network and the SFL. Kickoff will be touched back, so DC will start themselves at the 20-yard line, and the defense did well enough to only limit 3 points from the Trident offense. Now with 3:20 left to go, are you thinking maybe use all that clock?
Oh, I definitely would use all this clock. I'd stick to that run game. I'd eat this clock up and go into halftime with a lead.
And the run game has been working, I would say, ideally for them so far. And they will start off with a Kevin Say delayed handoff to a shed off about 3 or 4 tacklers down the middle to get 7 yards. And it's an impressive start from Kevin Say. But let's talk about impressive starts. Let's head over to Cameron Irvine over in the booth for a game break.
Thank you, Brett. So on the first play of the game, after Scar Patterson gets hurt, the backup comes in and Tony Roberto picks it off, takes it all the way to the house. The very next possession, first throw, Tony Roberto gets his second pick. 7-0 Lexington in the first. Back to you.
Yeah, and Lexington has these linebackers that are so great on coverage, and when you have a quarterback down, that's got to be tough. But we got to get back here to DC, Rochelle. 3rd and 1 after the Sam Harrison run. They're going to go tight bunch over on the right side.
Interesting.
And it will be a handoff to Harrison, who does not get even to the line. Great work from the Washington defense to stymie DC, and they'll get this ball back at the 2-minute warning.
And number 54 outside linebacker Nathaniel Diggs came on and just made a great stop. Pushing the punt here and giving them plenty of time to go down the field again. They have 2 minutes and all 3 timeouts left.
Yeah, they're going to have plenty of time to try to tie this game up. Returned by Koss, who will get past the 40-yard line onto the 40. And look at this, Rochelle, 2:01 left on the clock. So they're going to get themselves a free timeout, essentially. So Washington in an ideal situation.
Yeah, definitely. You can't ask for more than that. You get 1 second, you get a timeout, and you have 3 left. You need 2 minutes to play.
And now Washington, again, good field position at the 42-yard line. If you're Tommy Utah, you're looking to take advantage of the situation. 2-by-1 with that delay, that offset running back here on 1st and 10. There will be another handoff. Salmons will get in front. But I think you're right, Rochelle. They might have to just take this out once they get to the locker room. 2-minute warning here in DC. It is 10-3 for the Dragons. We'll be right back in just a few short moments. The battle of Washington and DC as the Trident have the football here on 2nd and 9 with 2 minutes left to go. Delayed handoff to Salmons will get nowhere. They're going to say another yard is gained on the play, and another 3rd and long situation for the Trident.
They're not being more aggressive here, Brett.
And again, this is one of the downsides of trying to have that balanced game. If the run game isn't working at certain moments, it feels like you should just stop it and try to pass it, which they will on 3rd down. Swing pass over to Chris Dean, who will have plenty of space down the field to get the 1st down and then some. Great work to get the swing pass involved. That's the first swing pass of the game.
And that seemed to work really, really well. I mean, the first time we've ever seen it, but I think they keep using it if I was Washington. That play was great.
An 11-yard catch and run from Chris Dean, and they're going to move things very quickly with a less than minute and a half to go in this first half. Handoff to Salmons, who sheds off a tackler once again, but only net about 3 or 4 yards, and now the Trident will call their first timeout.
I think this is pretty good clock management here. We're actually using timeouts.
And I've said this in many broadcasts before. The tendency usually is for offenses, once they get into enemy territory, they'll start calling the timeouts. And Washington duly does so and keeps it over a minute left in game action in the 2nd quarter. They'll shift over Sutherland over the left side. It will be Utah back to throw. Tries to find Sutherland, and it's in and out of his hands. Ball popped like a basketball out there. 3rd and 6.
You're Sutherland. You have both hands on that ball. You have to come down with those.
He was open enough too. There was not a receiver within not a defender within 2 or 3 yards of Sutherland as well. And you're thinking to yourself, do I throw it to him again here on 3rd and 6? We've got plenty of receivers to work with. Speaking of the receivers, Kaufman's going to make the shift over to the left side. It will be Utah on a 3-step drop, looking down the middle, trying to find, it looked to be Mihata perhaps, down that middle, but it's going to fall incomplete, and now it's 4th down.
Another big hit by the Washington secondary. I mean, by the DC secondary.
That's gonna mess with us because we're talking about a Washington team and a DC team.
I know.
But they are gonna go for it on 4th and 6 with 5 receivers out. This is a gutsy call from Robert Thumb.
It is. I'm actually shocked.
You don't see this all too often, and especially in a situation like this, down 7, only in the 2nd quarter. Utah down the middle, tries to find Cooper, but his ball's incomplete. It's a turnover on downs for the Dragons.
Was it Cooper or was it Kaufman the target? They hit Kaufman in the back.
Now, it hit Cooper on the hands, but the issue is Jadubi-Doo, again, hits the receiver and jars that ball loose. And now with 57 ticks left to go, inside the 40-yard line, this could be DC's opportunity to capitalize and extend the lead before half. They're going to go with a quick drop, and they'll find Lauren Percoco for a quick 8-yard gain, and DC will call their first timeout.
Things are getting very interesting right here in the last 2 minutes of play.
As it always happens here in the SFL, the 2-minute warnings, doesn't matter if it's the 2nd or the 4th quarter, probably the most exciting 2 minutes of football that you'll see here on YouTube.
I was still surprised to see them go, 4th and nice pass.
Beautiful catch to Mason Kirby, and that's going to get them in enemy territory. DC calls their 2nd timeout.
I'm still shocked that Washington went for it, and with so much game left, 4th and 4 was it?
But honestly, I like the gutsy call from Washington to try to go for it on 4th and 6 with a minute left to go. Shabazz back to throw on 1st down. Heavy blitz coming. Just slings that ball off there, and he's got to be lucky that Kappa Jones didn't pick that off.
I'm not even sure if he was even saw a receiver at that point. There was nobody back there but Kaufman.
And it looked like Washington brought
Jones,
about,
sorry.
Yeah, it looked like Washington brought 8 to the box and didn't really give enough time for Synergy to, really find his target. So he just threw that ball anywhere close to a receiver so that he couldn't get the intentional grounding. And it will be a quick throw, trying to find his receiver down the middle. Maybe threw it a little bit too far. Maybe led the receiver too far, and that's another incompletion. 3rd and 10.
Another great play by inside linebacker Nicholas Warner.
And Warner's been all over the place today. According to Phil Koss and Jacob Clare in the stats correct, he's already got 9 tackles and 1 pass deflection in this half alone. He has been everywhere. Shifting Connor Weston over to the right side. Talk about quiet halves. That's definitely been quiet. No targets to him. Oh, and he overthrows his man. And that's going to be an interception for Albert Begin. In what felt like DC might extend this lead, they're going to get no points out of it.
Okay, okay, so how many interceptions have we had in the last 2 minutes?
Just
one interception, then we had the turnover on downs.
Yep. And that's a guy you have to be dangerous to throw that ball to. 2nd interception of the season for him. 63rd of his career, which has him top 20 all time in interceptions. And now decision time for Washington. Do they start going aggressive with 38 seconds left? They are going to pass on 1st down and will try to find Terrell Cooper on the left side, but with 3 defenders in the area, that's going to be tough to catch that ball incomplete.
Yeah, that was a dangerous throw. I mean, they had 3 defenders were draping that receiver. He had no chance. Not a chance.
And right now, you're looking at this, if I'm Tommy Utah, 5 of 13 for 59 yards. Cooper has been held in check. 1 reception on 6 targets. Sutherland has been held in check too. 1 reception on just 3 targets. It's been tough going for these receivers, and it's been tough going for Tommy Utah in this first half. They're just going to run this one for Salmons, who doesn't really get anywhere. It's actually going to be a loss of 1. Billy Beers again getting another TFL, and will this maybe be the last play of the half incoming?
Anything can happen here, Brett.
Anything can happen, especially when you have 5 receivers out on the field. There will be a 3-5-step drop for Utah, who will try to get around. He sheds off 1 man and will try to get some space. He does scramble for 8 yards, but that is going to end the half. An 8-yard Tommy Utah run will end this half at a 10-3 score in favor of the DC Dragons. It's been a defensive battle between both these squads, only separated by a 37-yard Lauren Percoco touchdown. Rochelle, talk to me about this first half.
Like you said, it's been very defensive. Lauren Percoco had that huge catch that scored the touchdown. Other than that, I mean, DC's having, great success in running the ball. Washington's still trying to figure it out. They started running and started passing, and the passing game is not going very well for them so far.
Yeah, that's been the main issue for Washington. Again, Tommy Utah 5 of 14, 59 yards unofficially. It says 61 on the screen earlier, but DC's defense has made Washington's offensive life at least a little bit difficult. And loads of credit goes to that defense, especially looking at guys like Billy Beers, Nick Fargo, and Seth Harrison. Lauren Percoco is your halftime player of the game so far with that 37-yard touchdown that really separated things. And we're just seconds away from starting the first half here in the dungeon of Dracarys Coliseum in Washington, D.C. The hometown Dragons are currently up 10-3 to start off the second half as they kick this ball away to Washington. The kick is up and away. It will be returned at the end zone by Shane Kaufman, who will return it past the 25, trying to get to the 30, but gets stopped right at that 30-yard line. And Washington will start this second half with the football. As stated, Tommy Utah, 5 of 14 for 59 yards. Dwayne Salmons, a little bit quiet, just 9 carries for 39 yards in the first half.
Do that offside running back again.
And they're going to go with a draw play. This time it will work and will get Salmon 7 yards. And maybe the direct handoff may not work, but the draw will on that offset running back formation.
Nice pickup on first down there.
And you definitely want to be in these scenarios where it's, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, and it's going to be, looks to be I-wing jokers here on 2nd and 3. They'll hand it off to Dean, the bruiser, who will get 5 yards, will net a first down for Washington. And so far, early promising start for the Washington drive.
And that time that the hole was created that anybody could have ran through.
They'll go strong eye for about the second or third time in this game. Salmons gets stuck behind his old lineman and will get nowhere. They're going to mark a yard of gain. Say with the tackle once again.
Great defensive line push there, pushing the O-line back a little bit and getting that running back stuck in the backfield.
And now they'll go with an I formation on 2nd and 9. They're going to shift Kaufman over to the right side. Maybe they see something open on that right side for Kaufman if they pass. There will be a pass for Utah. Looking left and will find Terrell Cooper, who has struggled in this first half, but gets his second reception and will get Washington another first down.
That time he ran a great route, put himself in the middle of 3 defenders, and hung on to the ball after the big hit.
And it's not the fault of Terrell Cooper that he's had these first half struggles. He's had a couple catches where he's trying to face 2 or 3 defenders around him. This time, great secure of the ball, great jump on the football as well, and will net Washington another first down. Another direct handoff to Dwayne Salmons, who will stiff arm a tackler and will get just the yardage to get another first down for this Washington Trident offense, who really struggled to get first downs in the first half, just 5, and they've got 3 in this drive alone.
A couple of great blocks there helped that run. Right at the O-line.
Yeah, you have to credit the O-line, and you have to credit the receivers as well. They've got to make some blocking too, especially when that run stretches past the hash marks. They'll hand it off again, this time to Dean, who will bruise forward past the first level, can't get past the second, but will still net 5 yards, 2nd and 5.
I'll take 5 yards on a first down run any day of the week.
And again, that 4, 5, 6 yards, that's like the perfect run, as most coaches would say, aside from a touchdown run. It's getting that 4, 5, 6 yards, open up that playbook for 2nd down. It's going to be I-Jacks here on 2nd down. And Salmons bruises his way forward. That was not an easy run for him, shedding off 2 tacklers, getting 6, and another first down for the Trident.
Now look out. I mean, Washington's made some adjustments. They're going to their run game. They're only throwing 1 pass in the series.
It's been important to them because they're moving down the field. They've really, dictated these first 3 minutes of the second half. Another handoff to Dean, but will get stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. That was excellent work by the linebacking core from DC. Chris Britton III with the tackle.
Great job by Chris. Great job by the defense, especially Chris Britton, recognizing the play. He's been watching this play all day.
Now those linebackers have to be ready for essentially anything that happens. And with an empty formation on 2nd and 10, they better be ready for coverage, which they will. Utah with a quick drop. Will find Kaufman down the middle, finding that open hole between the linebackers and the safeties. And this, I believe, Rochelle, the first and goal for Washington in this game.
It is. And an impressive drive so far. I'm really impressed.
You got to be impressed with how Robert Thump and company have adjusted this offense just on this drive alone to get Washington deep down the field on the first drive of the half. It's been great work from the Washington offense. It's been great work by the play calling crew on the sidelines as well. Handoff to Salmons, who's got wide open space on the right side and waltzes through. 6 on the board for Trident.
I'm not sure the defense was thinking there. I mean, he made that look really, really easy.
And you'll look at the replay, and maybe they were thinking a run up the middle, which they have done a few times on that drive, and it's very favorable for goal line offenses, especially in the SFL, to run up the middle or maybe toss it out. You don't see stretch runs all too often, but nonetheless, they get the score, and James Stroll is just 1 kick away from tying this football game up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back to zeros. 10-10. 4 minutes into this third quarter here, Rochelle. This is a barn burner. Both teams doing well on the offense and the defense.
I mean, great job by Washington making a statement, coming out from halftime saying, okay, our passing wasn't working, we'll start running the ball, and it worked really well.
The kick is up and away, so there will be no chance to return this one. It'll be a touchback. You're watching the simulation football action here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on VFN, SFL Week 4 is on tonight, Saturday, and Monday, and the UFL's final 3 weeks of the regular season start Sunday and Wednesday. No other network gives you more football. The SFL lives on VFN. DC back out on offense after Washington tying up the football game. Seth Harrison will get a 5-yard gain on first down, and we got hit pretty hard on that last hit.
And he still picked up the 5 yards. So both teams are going to the run game now.
And once you get into these later stages of the game, you almost want to be weary of handing the ball off. You don't want to be careful with any fumbles that could cause run up the middle for, say, only net 2 yards. But all these running backs that we've seen in this game, Rochelle, great work on holding on to the football. All these people, no fumbles for the first 2 games for Washington, only 1, but that was from Shabazz Synergy on the DC side, and now setting up a 3rd and 3. It will be bunch over on the left side. We've seen this a lot from DC. Handoff to Harrison, who will try to bruise his way for a first down, but once again, TJ Harper says nana.
I don't think he got it.
Or maybe we're going to go maybe on this one. Another challenge this time from head coach Stephen Mullinax. He wants a second look at this one, and we're going to take a look from under the hood to see if Seth Harrison got the first down.
Live, I didn't think he had it, but let's see the replay.
He sheds off Warner and then gets immediately steamrolled by Harper. We have to see where that football is. I think, look at the knee though. It depends on where they think the first down marker is. That's also a 50-50 call. And the ruling on the field stands. It'll stay 4th and inches. DC has a decision to make if they want to keep the football.
I don't see them going for it here.
Well, we've seen some crazy things. We saw a 4th and 6 attempt earlier from Washington, but DC is deciding to punt this football away, trusting their defense to get this one, and now DC will punt that ball away. And it will be fair caught at the 26-yard line. And Washington now, first time, it's going to be their opportunity to take the lead in this game.
Actually, that was an excellent punt.
It looked to be Ron Van Cleef doing double duty, both as punter and kicker. Decent work to get that down the field. There's that offset running back formation. They flipped it. This time Salmons will find a gap over on the right side and will net 3 yards to set up a 2nd and 7.
I still don't like that play, but the last few times it's gotten some yardage.
And what's been working in this third quarter has been the share of the rock between Salmons and Dean through this third quarter. It's on the toss play to Dean, who will try to bruise forward, will only get 1 yard. Good work from Tyler Highfield to get that stop, because if Dean gets going, he won't stop.
Yeah, Tyler Highfield coming from his free safety spot, he makes a big stop there.
Big third down for both these teams. Washington is 1 of 8 on third down. They want to improve it on this play. Utah will go back to throw, looking down middle, overthrows Mihata and was almost intercepted, and no opportunity to get points for Washington as they'll punt this football away.
Billy Beers is shaking his head because he should have had that one.
There's been a lot of opportunities, Rochelle, on both defenses to grab interceptions, but it's just the one on the Washington side by Albert Begin. Utrecht Rugen to punt this football away. And that'll get some decent hang time. They'll be returned at the 30, maybe a couple extra yards for Harrison, but DC will start things off once again. Their offense in this third quarter, a little bit quiet. Can they pick things up with 3:48 left in the third?
I think I would have fair caught that ball. He took a big hit to get those 2 yards.
It looked like he had just enough space maybe to run over to the sidelines, but that space closed up pretty quickly. 1st and 10. It will be a stretch run for Kevin Say. He'll shut off a tackle and will not shut off a second, but still gets a modest 8 yards on 1st and 10 to make it 2nd and 2.
Once again, DC is sticking to their game plan.
And it's been a good game plan for them so far. I mean, the run game has been very, very good. 104 yards unofficially just on rushing alone. You got to trust that when it's over half your offense. Back to the bunch here on the 2nd down, and Harrison gets nowhere on the gut run. The defensive line for Washington shores up any gap. 3rd and 2.
Great job by the defense. Let's see if we see the same.
It has been equally as rough on 3rd downs. Only 2 of 8 for DC. They want to improve that number as well. Can they get to 3 of 9? Handoff to Say, and he will go short, but they're going to mark it a 1st down, and there won't be any challenge on this one. Both challenges from both teams are gone.
Oh, no.
Oh, actually, never mind. There's going to be another call here, so that Washington is going to get their 2nd challenge. Excuse me. Robert Thump proved me wrong. We're going to get ourselves a 3rd challenge of the game. We're going to take another look under the hood. Did Kevin Say get the 1st down?
Bad angle. We're not going to be able to see it.
And it's Nicholas Warner again that gets the tackle.
I think no.
And again, it looks like he's short, so Robert Thump might be 2 of 2 here. And it is overturned.
No.
And they will force a 4th down.
Wow.
Again, it seems like any drive that seems to go a little bit DC's way, it gets stopped by a coach's challenge. Robert Thump, 2 of 2 on challenges. Wow.
Both very similar plays that he challenged.
Exactly, yeah. Punt is away, and it will be returned by Koss, who shuts off a
No.
It'll be returned by DC, who's got space on the right side, and will get stopped inside the 10. DC get themselves a wish upon a well, and it's granted.
Unbelievable.
Phil Koss is not a guy that fumbles the football that easily, and it gets recovered by DC, and they're going to start this one at the 8-yard line. Delayed handoff to Chuck Stellar, who gets nowhere. He actually loses a yard. 2nd and goal coming up for DC.
If you're DC here, you have to get production off of this turnover. I mean, you start off within the 10-yard line.
Yeah, there's going to be points regardless, but you can't lose too much yardage as well. Now back to the 10-yard line. This is going to be interesting. They're going to run it off to Sam Harrison, who finds the space over on the right side and ties in. Taking advantage of that turnover, DC gets 6 on the board.
Wow, and I don't think Harrison was even touched. He just ran straight to the end zone.
Look at the replay.
Look at the blocking, number 47.
Blocking. Lauren Percoco, and it looked to be number 87, James Walters. Those are 2 people you want to get right in between the run. Those are fantastic blocks to get to the end zone, and DC, after this extra point, is going to secure back their 7-point lead.
And Lauren Percoco's a huge body out there, and she had a huge block. I mean, that was amazing.
You got Lauren Percoco, 6'7", 260. James Walters, 6'5", 275. Those are essentially 2 walls blocking, and that led to the score. 17-10 with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left in the third for DC. As this kick goes up in the end zone and will be returned by Kaufman. No fear out of him as he will get past the 20 and to the 24-yard line. And now DC's offense is going to go back in the field, thinking they possibly could have been going back at a tie game, but now it's going to be a 7-point deficit again.
Going back on the field with very little rest.
Very, very little rest as well between, the 2 separate DC drives, you could call it. One being punted away and then one being started at the 10-yard line. So Tommy Utah and company, they've got 2 minutes left in this third quarter. There's still plenty of time to get back in this game. And they're going to start off with what looks to be their favorite formation, that offset running back, which is, it's been hit or miss, Rochelle. As much as you don't like it, it's been hit or miss. I would say a 50-50 hit rate, I would say. It will be a handoff to Salmons, who tries to stretch to the outside and will get nothing out of it. 2nd and 10.
And you didn't fool Peanut say that time. I mean, the defense has been watching this play all day.
Robert Thump might be second thinking that formation when he heads to next week. Utah back to throw on 2nd down. Looks to move around. Finds Kaufman over on the right hash mark. So we'll get a couple yards. We'll get 5, and we'll make it a 3rd manageable.
Yeah, credit Utah with the composure to stay in the pocket, was collapsing around him, but he made the tough throw and got 5 yards on that.
It almost seemed like he was going into the pressure as well and trusted in his right tackle to block for him. Utah, quick step drop, finds Mihata down the middle. Beautiful quick throw, beautiful catch from Mihata, which I believe is going to be his first reception of this contest.
Believe it or not, he came in here as the leading receiver on the team, and it's actually his first target, which comes at the very end of the third quarter.
Yet leading receiver, 12 receptions, 152 yards under his name. No touchdowns yet this season. They're looking to change that and maybe get 1 or 2 on the board tonight for him. But nonetheless, at midfield on 1st down, Utah back to throw again. Going for the flat route from Mihata, who will net 2 yards. A good push from Highfield to get that tackle.
And that time, Mihata didn't have a chance. The ball was thrown behind him. He had to go back and get it. And defense just converged.
And what's been surprising, Rochelle, is that there's only been 1 sack in this contest. Doug Howard has the sack. And both these teams coming into this game, 5 sacks each for them. It's going to be a toss play, and Salmons will maybe get a yard or 2. And they're going to say no gain actually on this. So it's going to be 3rd and 8 coming up for Washington.
Good job by Chris Britton pursuing the ball and making a great stop.
And the linebackers have done really well. Nick Fargo with 4 tackles, Britton with 4 tackles, and the leading tackler, Billy Beers. We've seen him all over the place. 7 solo tackles in this game. Utah back to throw, can't find anyone. Tries to spin around, but is well short of the 1st down marker. And they'll set up 4th and 4 to end the quarter. Rochelle back to a 7-point game, but it came from a fumble recovery after the punt. DC is up 17-10 after 3. We'll be right back. Fours up in the chat for everyone. Welcome to the fourth quarter here in Washington, D.C. A 17-10 matchup in favor of the Dragons over the Trident as of right now, as Utrecht Rugen gets the punt away, looking to coffin corner this one. Will get it at around the 16-15 yard line, and DC will start things off in the fourth quarter backed a little bit.
Great punt. Anything within the 20 is always a win for me as far as punting goes.
Yeah, those are the major stats that people like to track. Any punts inside the 20, they're starting things off at the 15. Delayed handoff to Stellar, who has struggled in this game. That is only his third carry and gets stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
King McNeely with the big play there, the big defensive end.
And the defensive line has been, relatively active in this game. 2 tackles for Howard in the begin. McNeely with his first tackle. And then, like I said, Howard with the lone sack of this contest.
Barcoco's in motion. Keep an eye on her.
Yeah, that's the one you're looking at. And that was a throw intended for Percoco that fell incomplete because of the outstretched arms at Tina Begin.
Yeah, great pass deflection. You're on the line. You get your hands up, your big body in the face of the quarterback.
And now very quickly, third down for DC, and they're going to set up 5 receivers. Anything you can do, I can do better, says Stephen Mullinax as he pulls out his own 5 wide receiver set. And it looks they're going to move, it looks to be Jay Hayden over to the right side. Synergy, back to throw, looking down the right side of the field, and it's caught! Beautiful catch from Kirby, who has been the man tonight for Shabazz Synergy.
And that time, all 3 receivers were in the same area.
Yeah, you
Kirby
look at it.
found himself open behind the defender.
And then scratch that. That's Connor Weston who got the catch. And that is his first catch, his only 2nd target of the game. So great work from Weston to finally get involved in this fourth quarter. Great work to shift Hayden as well to misdirected defense. Bunch formation here on 1st and 10. A handoff to Seth Harrison. Will shed off a tackle.
Oh,
and has space down the right side. Past midfield. Onto the 40. And gets tackled at around the 36-yard line. Sam Harrison has been the X factor for DC tonight.
Wow, he's just making things happen out on the field. He broke that tackle and was just off to the races.
In a game where we thought it would be Salmons versus Say, Seth Harrison has taken the task to himself. Absolutely great work from Sam Harrison tonight to get himself involved after only getting 9 carries for the first 2 games.
And credit that offense again for some great blocking. That whole team's blocking out there.
They're going to go back to bunch formation.
Have we seen any other formation out of DC tonight?
We've seen a couple more. We've seen a lot of empty formations. Say shrugs off a tackle, spins through another, and will turn a 2-yard play into 6. 2nd and 4 now for DC.
It's a strength of him just carrying defenders down the field with him.
And that's the Kevin Say we know, Rochelle, that can turn any, net zero or negative play into, something of a miracle into 6 yards. Handoff to Harrison again. Will make it only a yard on the stretch run. Now a 3rd and 5. Still an open playbook on 3rd down.
Yeah, you never know with DC. The running backs can get the 5 yards, and they got very good receivers also.
There will be shotgun formation on 3rd down. Shabazz will step back, finds his target on the short side. A beautiful catch from James Walters to get the 1st down.
If you ever need a big play, you put one of your big body tight ends in the middle of the field, and he was just past the 1st down marker, and a great catch.
Creeping among the lines of red zone territory is the DC offense. Back to the bunch formation on the left side. We'll hand things off on a stretch to Harrison, who will net another 6 yards. It's been good running from Sam Harrison, who has been over 5 yards a carry throughout this game.
And so far, he's making my vote. He's getting on my vote for player of the game so far.
I would say so. Right now, unofficially, 92 yards, 1 touchdown. He is, like I said, he has been DC's X factor tonight. You toss play over to Kevin Say. Decent blocking from Walters. Had just enough time for Say to get past the first down marker. And now inside the red zone are the Dragons.
And DC has 2 very good tight ends that can block and also catch the ball. So, like, very good offensive weapons out there.
Yeah, I would argue that they have 3 great blocking tight ends: Percoco, Walters, and Hayden. He bunched once again, back to Harrison, stuck on his lineman, but still pushes forward 4 yard and ends the streak of plays of 5+ yards at 7 straight. DC has been moving down the field at a rapid pace.
More rapid. I mean, thanks to their running backs in this bunch formation.
Just nearly 150 yards of run game from DC tonight. Handoff to Say, who will just run this baby up the gut and get 6 yards as they inch even closer to the end zone and inching closer to a 2-score lead.
Well, the bunch formation, you have to respect the receivers. You really can't stack, put 8 people in the box. You have to respect those 3 receivers on the outside.
And what makes it tougher on that bunch formation is that they're so close to the lineman as well, so you don't know if they're going to block or if they're going to run a route. The 4 receivers are going to shift Percoco onto the left side. She's going to be the slot receiver on the left.
Look for her in the middle of the end zone.
Shabazz back to throw, doesn't have time, will shut off one man, but can't get past the second. Howard again gets the sack and forces a 4th and 9 for DC.
Well, Howard just got himself paid.
Yeah, you could hear in his mind, cha-ching. It was almost a sack for Tina McGinn, but she was sent to the Shadow Realm in order for Howard to get his 2nd sack of the game. 28-yarder coming up for Ron Van Cleef to make this a 10-point game. Off the left hash marks. It's not an easy one, but he will sail it straight and true. Now a 10-point advantage, a 2-possession lead for DC halfway through the 4th quarter. Monday, Cameron Irvine and a special surprise guest will join the SFL this week to recap Week 4 action before the 2-0 Denver Nightwings face the 2-0 defending champion Mexico City Aztecs this week on Monday night's Spectacular. The SFL lives on the Virtual Football Network.
That should be a great game.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Denver, who's a very stout defensive team, and Mexico City, who are a great all-around team. Great juke move by Phil Koss to get a couple extra yards, and now Washington will start themselves at the 28-yard line. 4 minutes and 51 seconds left to go, Rochelle. Are you thinking more pass, less run?
Well, they came out after halftime running the ball. With 5 minutes left, you have to be more aggressive here.
And Utah, 8 of 18, 111 yards. Has spread the ball out pretty well, but his receivers need to get those targets converted. Mahada is going to move over to the left side on this empty formation. 4 receivers along with a tight end. Utah with a quick drop will find Kaufman over on the left side. Look to be maybe a flat or a swing, and net 6 yards out of it. Good start from the Washington drive.
6 yards. Very good pickup on first down, but there's got to be a sense of urgency here. Clock's just ticking away.
As we narrow it down to 4.5 minutes in the 4th quarter, they're going to go I formation. Will be a handoff to Salmons, who's got the space, will shut off one, and if Peanut Say was not there, I think Salmons would have broke for a 30-yard run. Just look at that replay, shutting off one tackler, and it didn't look like any defenders were in that backfield area. So that could have been a 30-yard run, so that's a good saving tackle from Peanut Say. They'll go again with this offset running back formation. Will either be a stretch or a run up the middle. We haven't seen too many pass plays off this formation tonight.
We haven't seen one yet at all. Oh, whoa.
Maybe we'll get one here tonight, and it's just overthrown. He was looking for Sutherland, and maybe Utah got a little bit too happy seeing Sutherland that open and overthrows his man.
Well, the good news is it took very little time off the clock, so Second and 10.
Very true. Second and 10. They got 4 receivers. Back to that 1 tight end, 4 receiver formation on an empty. Utah back to throw. Quick step, looking for Sutherland. Incomplete. I'm not sure if that's the play you're going to have to make with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game.
I think the slot receiver was actually wide open in the middle of the field.
Utah has thrown short on his pass attempts in this drive. 2 of 11 on 4th down. He can't afford to throw short. 3rd and 10. Utah back to throw. He will try to find Cooper. Excuse me, that was Kate Alexander who can't secure the catch. And DC has forced Washington into a 4th down, and it's decision time for the Trident.
And these DC secondary, I mean, they're known for huge hits, and they've been making them all game.
Yeah, and I think this is the right decision. Even though you're at your own 47-yard line, you've got to go for it. Second, 4th down attempt for Washington. Utah will be back to throw, will throw short, and it's not even close. Another turnover on downs for DC.
This is disastrous. I mean, now you give DC the ball back in your own territory.
That was definitely not what they wrote up on the play. And that's something that's maybe going to haunt Washington in this game if Washington finds a way to get some points on this drive. 3:33 left to go, back in DC's hands at the Washington 45-yard line. Be a handoff to Harrison, who's got space over on the right side and will almost get past Nicholas Warner, but will still get 8 yards.
All these blocks, I mean,
you said it, Rochelle. This is a perfect run team roster-wise because of those 3 great tight ends that they have available to block. They don't need to pass it all the time, as shown by Shabazz's 13 attempts in this game alone. And now it's just going to be chew clock time in a favorable position for DC.
you have 3 tight ends. You have a fullback back there, too.
Yeah, and Chuck Stellar, despite him having 3 carries for no yards, he's a capable blocking fullback as well. You run up the gut for Say, who easily gets the 1st down. Not a problem whatsoever. And we'll quickly head on over to see the Lexington game. Cameron Irvine, how's that game going?
Been pretty wild, Brett. Thank you. Just before the end of the first half, since we've had no scoring in the second half, Al Dillapre Sr. with the catch. It's 17-10. Lexington up, but the Miners only have 93 total yards of offense. That game is halfway through the 3rd. Back to you.
Definitely a game to keep an eye on. Lexington and Sin City, both strong teams in their own way. After this game, definitely switch on over to heading on over to Sin City. There'll be a 1st down run here for Harrison, who gets another tackler. He has just he's been tough to capture for this Washington offense, and it's going to get another 1st down at the 2-minute warning.
That was brutal. He just took off that tackler like it wasn't even there. Just dragged the other one with him.
And now 120 seconds left to go. Can DC hold on to this lead and extend their undefeated streak this season to a 3-0 record, or does Washington find a way? We are at the 2-minute warning here in Washington, D.C. Dungeon of Dracarys Coliseum. DC Dragons have a 10-point lead with 2 minutes left to go, and you have to think DC is going to run this ball to hell and high water. Be a run up the gut for Harrison, will only net a yard. 1st timeout called for the Trident.
I mean, if I was DC, I don't care what happens here. I would not put the ball in the air.
Well, not unless it's like a 3rd down and 26, which I don't think is going to happen, but
keep a field goal.
They could kick a field goal from here still, but the big key is Washington needs to get a stop. 2nd down run, this time for Harrison, who will get a couple more yards and make it 3rd and 5. Washington called for 2nd timeout.
Bad things happen when you throw the ball inside the 20.
Unless you're Vancouver, then it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Washington or DC 2 of 4 on third down in this half. Can they make it 3 of 5 and seal the deal? Toss play to Harrison. Will try to shed forward that one tackler, but does not. Washington calls their final timeout, forces DC to kick the field goal.
I mean, DC here, all they wanted out of this drive was points, and they're getting that.
And it will be a relatively shorter field goal as well off the right hash marks for Ron Van Cleef. This kick will make it a 13-point lead if it's good, and that is more than good. 23-10, the lead has been extended for the Dragons, and they're looking to secure this win with about a minute and a half left to go.
Washington's coming in with only one timeout left.
No, they used all 3 timeouts.
Oh.
So they're going to have to go hurry up this entire way. So they got to find a formation that they love and that they can rely on getting yards with. Kickoff underway, and it will be returned at the 3-yard line by Shane Kaufman, who will try to get off one but can't, and Washington will start things 76 yards to the end zone.
If you have the receivers to do this.
They've got a bevy of them. They just need to start collecting those catches. It has been a struggle for Tommy Utah here tonight. Just 10 of 23 for 119 yards. Utah back to throw, goes short to Mahada, and it falls incomplete. Good work from Highfield to jar that ball loose.
Another punishing hit by the secondary.
And that has been the story for DC's secondary. There's been a lot of opportunities for these receivers to secure those catches, but they just simply haven't. They get those catches jarred loose pretty quick. Now going a 1-by-3 on 2nd and 10, but will shift Sutherland over to the left side. Utah with a 5-step drop, looking down the middle, finds a one-handed catch. Great work from Shane Kaufman to secure that, and now they got to go in the hurry up with this formation.
I think I like this formation, actually.
You got 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Down to the left side is ball's incomplete. A little bit of jousting over on that left side will force the incompletion, 2nd and 10.
And that receiver was pretty much wide open behind the secondary.
I think if Utah would have waited maybe another second more, I think that Kaufman would have been wide open on that left side and they would have caught it for a touchdown. But it's 2nd and 10 now. Utah back to throw, will go left side, finds his receiver for a first down. That looked to be Cooper to get the catch, and now nearing midfield are the Trident. Utah back to throw again, tries to find Mahada on that flat route, and that just has not worked at all in this game for Mahada. It has not worked for Utah. It has not worked for Washington.
Clock did stop at 2nd and 10. I guess it was better than spiking the ball.
Yeah, that's the positive thing. They can stop the clock on incomplete passes. They're going by that 3-by-1 again. Utah throwing to the right side, finds Kaufman, but he just doesn't have enough to secure that catch. Good work from Jadoobie Doo to force Kaufman's hands to go wayside and force the incompletion.
If you're a receiver, DC's going to make you pay on every single play.
And I don't think Washington wanted to be in this 3rd down situation. 1 of 4 in the 2nd half, 2 of 12 tonight on 3rd down. This is the biggest one of them all. Utah will sling it right, finds an open receiver. Kaufman again has been his reliable man in this 4th quarter and will get out of bounds to stop the clock at 58 seconds.
Great job of the receiver, knowing where the first down marker was, getting beyond it, and getting out of bounds, which stops the clock.
No, it's definitely great as well, and it was a good misdirecting receiver as well. If you see number 12 in that as well, that really helped out. That would have been I'm trying to find the name of the receiver, and I can't. But that was a good block nonetheless. 58 seconds are now left on the clock. They're going to go with
Shane Kaufman.
It was Kaufman with the catch, but I'm looking for the blocking receiver that helped them on that same side. And now they're going to even out this field, and now it's a 2-by-2. Utah back to throw, goes right again, goes short to Cooper, who will find space He gets around Jadoobie-Doo and gets the first down, and they're going to hurry things up again. Clock down to 45 seconds. And will spike the ball.
Smart move.
Stops it right at 45. I like that move, especially with no timeouts. They're in field goal range, but they're not looking for a field goal.
No. I mean, you could kick a field goal, but then you do the onside kick and hope you get a touchdown after that.
Exactly so. But you don't want to hope on just onside kicks. It's, as much as you want it to work, it's still a very low chance of them actually working.
Correct.
4 receivers out again on another wide set after that shift in formation. Going to throw short again to Cooper, who steps out of bounds behind the line, but they're going to say no gain after the catch. Stops the clock at 41 seconds, but it's another 3rd and 10 coming up for Washington.
Definitely a 4-down territory, but the clock is not your friend.
And the clock becomes less and less your friend and more your enemy as it even ticks down even more. 41 seconds left. Utah will go back to throw once again, looking deep, finds Kaufman on the right side, tries to get out of bounds, but he can't. Stopped at the 7-yard line. They could spike this ball again. And they will. Stops the clock at 26 seconds. And that might have been a little bit more than they wanted to chew off that clock. Essentially took 15 seconds off that game clock from 41 to 26 after one catch. That's definitely not ideal. So I'd be looking end zone from here on out. 2nd and goal at the 7. Utah will go back to throw. Throws short to Kaufman, trying to find space. Shuts off one tackler and gets past the other. Washington gets 6 on the board. Step 1 complete.
Did he go out of bounds? Let's see the replay.
It's tough to see from our angle, but it looked like he had... Oh, that's pretty close, but I think he tiptoed his way in. The only way the challenge will come in is through a booth review. So if this will probably be... Yeah, this decision's final. A touchdown is on the board for Washington. And they're an extra point away from making this a 6-point game. Kick from Troll is up and good. 21 seconds left, and we're going to see the onside kick formation.
Nail biter.
Both teams fairly even in the yards category, and especially in all the other analytical statistics category. That one, a very short kick.
I don't think it went 10 yards.
And it will be recovered by DC nonetheless. It almost looked like it was recovered by Kaufman, but he didn't get his hands on the ball. That was Falk who got the ball, and DC will survive this game and get themselves to 3-0, Rochelle.
Just one little kneel down here, I think.
And what a game for Sam Harrison. Unofficially 23 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown. I think for you and I, he's our player of the game for sure.
I've been saying that since the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, he has been such a factor, especially in the second half. Kevin Say did his work too, 15 for 66. But Sam Harrison took over this game for himself and got what essentially became the game-winning touchdown. We are going to make the final here in DC, 23-17 in favor of the hometown Dragons. DC improves to 3-0, and Washington goes down to 1-2. Rochelle, quickly, your thoughts about this game?
It came down to 2 huge mistakes, 1 interception and 1 fumble that let DC win this game tonight.
And a little bit of quiet performances from both quarterbacks. Maybe Washington needed a little bit more of Tommy Utah's help, but just couldn't get enough of it, and will suffer from a loss for it. Both teams are heading for divisional matchups next week. DC on the road to face Queen City in week 5, and Washington heading on over to Sin City, who are playing right now against Lexington over at home. So it'll be a little bit of home cooking for the now 1-2 Washington Trident. But that is going to do it for us here in Washington, D.C. at the Dungeon of Dracarys Coliseum. I am Brett Sahlberg. This is Rochelle Coast alongside me. Great work from Jacob Clear and Phil Koss on the stat sheet. And of course, as always, we cannot be doing this without the help of producer and commissioner extraordinaire Cameron Irvine. We will see you guys on the flip side, and I bid you all a adieu.